States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I call the meeting open. I usually welcome everyone that's here in person and also they're watching at home, either through community through Crossroads TV and through also on YouTube. So good stuff, and then on Zoom. So if you're there as well, so thank you for attending. I always introduce everyone. So Christine Keller on my left down here, who is our town clerk. Councilor John Paciotti, Councilor Stephanie Thibodeau, town manager down here, Michelle Flowelling, and then Councilor Peter Lawrence, and myself, Council Chair Matt Townsend. So the first order of business is public announcements. Details may be found at www.fairfieldme.com and or via our social media presence. Fairfield is hiring in all departments. Contact the town office. In December, Council begins reviewing appointment applications for upcoming volunteer positions on local boards and committees, including the following: Budget Committee, Planning Board, Land Use Board of Appeals, Economic Development Committee, Board of Assessment Review, Voter Registration Board of Appeals. If you are interested in serving your community, please complete an appointment application form available online or at the town office. Appointments are made at the town council's January annual organizational meeting. Number 3, the 2024 dog licensing tags are available at the town office. Current 2023 dog licenses expire on December 31st. Lawrence Public Library. On the 11/16 Hunger Games enthusiasts event from 2 to 5 p.m. So for those of you listening and watching, may the odds be ever in your favor. 12/2 at 11 a.m. reading discussion with author Paul Dorian, Mike Bowditch, mystery series. December, Christmas Around the World festivities. And special events, regular and seasonal programs can be found on the LPL social media page. Number 5, Fairfield Police Cops Care for Kids holiday program will be in person at the Fairfield Community Center December 21st. Sensory-friendly hours are from 9 to 10 a.m. Regular hours are from 4 to 6:30 p.m. with home delivery of Fairfield residents unable to attend in person scheduled for the same evening. Sign up at www.fairfieldcopscare.com. 6, non-emergency town services will be closed on November 23rd and 24th in holiday observance. The second order of business, public hearings. To hear from the public on a request for a cannabis dispensary license located at 201 Norwich Walk Road, Y&Z Grow LLC.
Manager, Zoom. Zoom
If we
protocols.
have anybody on Zoom that needs to participate during the public hearing, you just need to raise your hand, and we will call on you. So I believe I have Michelle Delmar.
Yeah. Thank you.
So the council will be able to see you here in the room. If you're not familiar with the space, we have 2 very large screens, so they can hear you just fine.
Okay, great. So I do represent Y&Z Grow LLC with regard to the marijuana dispensary conditional use permit, and it's here to be finalized, is my understanding, by the council.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Any comments? Questions?
There are no impediments for this location. Everything is in compliance with the planning board, and the police chief has indicated there's no other impediments.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's what I have for here. Thank you very much. So moving on to our, I think you said.
Going to declare it closed.
Declare-
closed.
Yep, declare closed.
Unless anybody else
Yeah,
has any
unless
comments.
nobody else is
Any other comments from anybody?
not seeing any.
Okay.
Nobody else on Zoom.
Okay.
Hearing closed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Third order of business, public comments, limit of 3 minutes. Members of the public may speak to the council or request opportunity to speak on a specific item that is on the agenda, or may email comments to the council to info@fairfield-me.gov by 4 p.m. the day of the meeting. Submitted content may be read aloud at this time. Any submitted content?
I have nothing.
Nothing.
Anybody wishing to speak tonight?
No.
Okay.
I guess not.
The fourth order of business, reports from staff and committees. The town manager report.
All right, so it's been a while since we've met, so it's a long one. On October 17th, I attended the KVCOG Board of Directors meeting, and also that same day, we had the kickoff for the PFAS committee meeting, which I'm sure Councilor Townsend will speak on. On October 19th, they attended the KRDA Executive Board meeting. The 24th, attended a training at MMA, which was labor and employment law refresher. And then also there was a building committee meeting that evening where we toured fire in the town office that Councilor Lawrence will speak on. November 1st, I did attend the Central Maine Growth Council's annual meeting at Bricks Co-working Space, which is down in the old Hathaway building. Sheridan Construction Corporation was honored as the 2023 Developer of the Year, so that was great to be there for that, citing recent projects like the Sioux Fourth Family Sports Complex at Thomas College, as well as the build-out of Maine Chris over in Winslow, so it was good to be there for that. November 7th, which was Election Day, I want to recognize the great work done by the town clerk, the deputy town clerk, and the town office staff in the months leading up to election, because it does take a lot of time, as well as the many residents that gave their time in to work the polls. Thank you all for your dedication to the community. November 14th, we had another building committee meeting where they toured Public Works in the community center. And then just some general informational updates. Information has been put together regarding the revaluation process. You would have received that this evening. We have those here at the community center, or you'll be able to get them at the town office. They've been posted to our Facebook page, and they will be on our website, which indicates which maps they'll be starting with for the reval. So it's map 6, 9 through 16, and map 29. And it lets folks know what they can expect. So you pull into your driveway and somebody's walking around your house with a tape measure, it'll help explain that. And we're also working on, the plan right now is that the cars for the inspectors that'll be going out will actually have a town logo on the side of their vehicle. We've had those ordered. We're just waiting for those to come in. Plus, they'll have badges, so they'll have identification and all of that. So, and a couple of different things. But as always, if anybody has any questions, give us a call at the town office, and we can help through that. The police department does have a few pieces of equipment that are available through bid through Auctions International. That's the same company we used when we sold the 2 fire trucks a couple of years ago. These are just smaller pieces of equipment that they have, and there'll be a public posting about that tomorrow, I think. And then a reminder for the council, there is a training being held tomorrow here at the community center, which is the ABCs of assessing for non-assessors. And the town office will also be closed from 12:30 to 3 so that they can attend that training here as well. And then one final bit of note, I want to wish good luck to the Lawrence Bulldogs for Saturday. So good luck to them, and hopefully that's going to be a great game. So, and that's it for me.
Any questions for Michelle?
I do.
Yep.
Michelle, what's the time frame for the property revaluation for these maps?
So the process itself is to last 4 years.
Right.
Okay, and what they've done is they've broken the town up into 4 quarters with hopefully equal amounts of lots in each quarter. They will work this fall until it gets to the point where the snow is too deep and they probably would not be out. But if we don't have a lot of snow this summer and it's easy for them to get out and visit these properties, then this winter they'll just continue to do that. If not, they'll pick that back up in the spring. So what this does is it does the measure and listing of every property. It's not going to influence values or anything like that. This is just, do we have the right number of sheds? Is your garage the right size? Is your house the right size? However, if you have built a shed that you didn't get a building permit for, or you've built a deck or a garage or any of those things, those will be picked up. Like, that they will be taxed for those accordingly. But this is just to make sure every property is accurately recorded. If folks could let them into their homes, that would be helpful, simply because of the fact that interior construction and materials do have make a difference in property value, as well as not just types of construction, but also depreciation in value. You know, how is your home aged? But they certainly don't have to let anybody into their home. It's just helpful for a more accurate record.
So what we have here is projected for the next year.
Yes. So that's what they'll be getting started on within at any minute, right? I'm expecting them to show it any day. So they're gearing up to get here. We've had some conversations with IT, so to make sure they have the appropriate access to our databases and that kind of stuff. But yeah,
Okay,
that's
thank
what
you.
they're working on.
Thank you, Michelle. Next, I have the town clerk election report. Christine?
Yeah. So 4,046 registered voters, 1,550 came out to vote. That's 34%. 385 absentee requests were facilitated, with 354 returned. On November the 3rd, we facilitated early processing in accordance with state process procedure and statute, and that was 256 ballots that were processed. Those tapes aren't allowed to be run until after the close of polls. Total absentees that were rejected were 31, so that's not returned by Election Day. And we had new voters that were processed on Election Day. There were 52, and in the 3 months preceding, there were 39 additional. Changes to voters, 21 on Election Day, 24 preceding the election. And canceled voters, 23. It's a statistic that we keep track of. People come and go on a regular basis. Noteworthy for this election, polls were steady all day. We had one candidate greeting voters, and that was present for close of polls procedures. Early processing of absentees was facilitated with the 254 state and 255 municipal ballots. Processing at close of polls takes considerable time. So we have to orchestrate the hand count and write count stations, ward and tally station, incoming voter list, securing equipment and materials. We also have to run the Election Day tabulator tape drives. There's 2 state tabulators, 2 municipal tabulators. The early processing drives may not be run until after those tapes are run, and we had 1 state and 1 municipal that we used for this election. There are 3 tape sets each, the warden's copy, the clerk's copy, and the public copy. That equals 18 tapes, and there was extensive write-ins. So these take substantial time to print, over an hour, and that's pretty standard. Kennebec Water District, seat 1, they're under the declared write-in. He received 26 votes, and then there was a diversity of 90 undeclared write-ins, and per the protocols, ineligible or non-applicable write-ins are recorded on the result returns as blanks. And then the Charter Commission, question 1 failed, so it negated the 6-seat write-in contest that had more than 161 assorted write-ins. But again, per protocols, the ineligible or non-applicable write-ins are recorded on the result returns as blanks. 1 resident voted the polls with an active unreturned absentee request. This is a friendly reminder that voters must choose one or the other. Recount procedure and substantiation request. An email was received by a defeated candidate on election night prior to unofficial results distribution on 11/7/23. Comprehensive recount and election statutes, procedural substantiation, and labor estimate was provided. Misinformation disseminated to officials and media prompted calls to the municipal clerk from the Maine GOP and Secretary of State. These state entities confirmed municipal compliance. The recount request was withdrawn on November the 10th. I'd like to just state that in addition to the election personnel, elections are a town team effort. Each department participates in the coordination. I'd like to say well done by all, and the collaboration is greatly appreciated. Fairfield's resident election officials value preserving the integrity and compliance of elections. It continues to be an honor to administrate elections and lead our team in facilitating another successful election. Team Fairfield.
Thank you, Christine.
You're welcome.
Any questions or comments?
No, just thank you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
I guess I had a couple. One was actually just interested if you know, I'm probably throwing you under the bus here, but I should have done this earlier, but do you know how that compares, like the turnout percentage this year? Especially in an off-year election, it seems like it was actually, probably because of some of the state questions, it was actually seemed like a pretty good turnout for an off-year
It's
election.
similar when you have a question such as question 3 on a state ballot that's being closely watched on a statewide range to have that higher turnout on an off year. So we were anticipating, similar to the year we had the bear baiting and trapping question, that there was going to be a pretty steady turnout, and that trajectory was fulfilled. So, and we planned our orders accordingly.
Nice. Absentee-wise, too, how do you think those numbers are tracking?
The trend is continuing. I think a lot of people were COVID exhausted and wanted to come to the polls, but at the same time, 385 requests is quite a bit compared to, say, 10 years ago.
Sure.
So it is still trending up, and every absentee ballot has almost a dozen microtransactions. They're incredibly labor intensive. So it does add to the election personnel workload, not just mine, but pretty much everybody that's in the channel of
Process, yeah.
events, succession of events. So
Well, good. Thank you very much.
you're welcome.
So now we are moving to committee reports. Want to do economic development?
Sure.
Very good.
The Economic Development Committee did not meet in November because of voting day, and we'll be meeting December 5th at 3:30, right in this room.
So we're very close on the waterfront development plan.
Yes, very close, and we're pending approval by the council and a few maps from KV-COG.
When you get to that item on the agenda,
and
I'll
it's-
update you with a little bit more information, but
Very good.
Yeah,
But we're
so,
very close.
Very close.
Thank you, Stephanie.
You're welcome.
Peter, can you give us an update on the working group for the
Yes,
facilities?
the Building Assessment Committee met October 24th, and we reviewed 3 buildings. We reviewed the old fire station in Fairfield Center, the current fire station on Lawrence Ave, and the town office. I just want to read our mission statement first, because some of the residents might not, online on the first.
Yep.
The goal of the 2023 building assessment is to determine whether or not the town's safety buildings are in need structurally and in need of improvement with functionally of usage. Untimely, the town councilors would decide on this action suggested by the Building Assessment Committee also is within understanding that the department heads for each building would assist with a survey as well as help to facilitate the inspection, the structures in their departments. First, we had the new fire chief, Travis Leary, accompany us on the first assessment. That was the old fire station over the Fairfield Center. That fire station was built in '71. It was used as a auxiliary at first, then the auxiliary went away, then they just used it as storage for the pump, one of the trucks, and for public works. The second building we assessed was the current fire station. That's the oldest building in Fairfield. That's 70 years old. It's built in the 50s. And I've been in it before, but not through the whole building. It's running out of space with all the equipment. When I walked in there, there's the ladder truck. Right beside the ladder truck, we have the boat on a platform. Behind that, we have another piece of equipment sitting there. We have to take the ladder truck out to get this equipment out. I know that electricity was upgraded a couple years ago. Just like the police station, the fire station is leaning to the west, right to the river on the west side. And the parking is limited, because since there's a lot for lease, and the line goes right to the back of the parking lot space. Wait, so there's limited parking. And out the back door, there's the hotel there.
Sure.
So it won't, it's not a lot of space around the fire department for expansion. So then we went to the town office. Town manager gave us a tour of that. If there's ever a active shooter, half of the town office will get out because it's on ground level. The rest of the half that's facing the fire department is too high up. So that's one thing there. Also, too, they was told if there's an active shooter, go lock yourself in the safe.
Please don't discuss all of our security protocols.
Yeah, that's security protocol.
Give away all
And
our
then we went downstairs, I think, a few years ago, they had a sewer issue.
No, it leaked because
It
of
leaked,
the, what we believe is a faulty perimeter drain on the building, if there is one. It stopped leaking when we repaved the parking lot and sealed up all the cracks, but I suspect it will leak again
know
once
every
those
month
cracks come back.
I know every month it has to be snaked out.
Oh, that also has to be done, yes, the
Yeah,
sewer
every
line
month.
is sagging.
It was an issue, they can't find what it's all about, so. That was done on the 24th, and we came back here and discussed what we saw. And we held another meeting yesterday at 5 o'clock, right in the community center. Primary goal was, I actually went to the Public Works building first. It's the first time I've been in that building. Very nice building. It's a building in the 80s. And the space is immaculate. You can walk around each vehicle. The heat was fantastic. There was a few issues that the director did say was the roof and the heating system. And also two furniture. So, then we came back to the community center, and the community center was not on an initial assessment, but it came on an agenda, so we decided to actually look at the community center and to see the aspects of the community center. And at the time, Pal was here, and the planning board was in the classrooms. But we got a tour by the town manager of the TV station, each room. They say the bathrooms can be updated, like the men's room, missing the urinal. The floors can be fixed. And we went in the kitchen. That's the biggest concern, too. The kitchen has been operational for 3 years, and it's very outdated. And then I know at one time I was talking to community center to be a woman's center. With that, we need a generator. So that concludes my report on assessment, and our next meeting is December 12th, and we will go over all the assessments we did and give a final report to the council when it's completed.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter.
Stephanie, I may ask you some questions about your proposals for the community center.
Yes,
I can do that at the end.
at the end.
Or if you.
All right, now?
I know it's good. It's not quite
We can do it.
the agenda, but if you want me to just hit that one, since Peter brought
Well,
that
yeah,
up.
I can,
Yeah.
yeah. As you know, we participated in a grant initiative for the community center through KVCOG using resiliency money. And we put in for a new stove. We did not get it. The state, though, when they do a grant, they're very, very thorough and in their reporting. So we were able to see why we didn't get the grant. And I have recently written up a new grant that I have reviewed with KVCOG, and it's just the draft. And I'm not a grant writer, so I'm learning the process as we go through. But in this new grant, it is more inclusive. Not only are we looking at updating the appliances here in the community center, we're looking at a generator. We're looking at updating the girls' bathroom. The urinal I did not know about, so that's going to be amended now.
And And tables and chairs and acoustics in this place is not that.
Well, we're looking at just what is needed to make this a place for sheltering. And what we have for tables and chairs right now is okay. They're not perfect, but we've got some for people. But we need to have ADA accessible toilets. We do not have those. The shower heads have not been replaced since the building was built in the 70s. So all of those need to be replaced. And overall, we're looking at roughly $57,000 for updates, just for the community center. And the next round of the resiliency grants are going through, hopefully in the spring. And so, and the other thing is too, and that's the $57,000, but we're also looking at replacing all of the lights within the municipal buildings. And we got word this week that Efficiency Maine is offering a grant program, and we qualify because of our population. So we're going to take advantage of that to get LED replaced lights in all of our buildings. So things are happening, it's just it takes a long time, and it's a lot of researching going on. It's amazing. You have to even count, the wax things you put under the toilet? You have to count those in there, too. So, yeah, it's inclusive.
Well, I appreciate your time. I'm sorry to kind of throw things off, but
That's okay.
I knew that it kind of segued nicely there, so I knew you had a chance to talk about that.
I met with KV Cog on Monday, and I'll now go and do a second draft.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you. The PFAS committee met on 10/17. I think it's a diverse group, and so it was a lively discussion. I think John could say that's probably true. But I think we decided the biggest part of that is that we need to be all coming from the same background of knowledge. So one of our first steps is to try to get each one of the large all the larger stakeholders involved. So whether we have the DEP, Department of Agriculture, and others coming in doing presentations for us, so that we all are on the same page knowledge-wise and can question, them as we go. So that's where we start the process and then look to expand from there.
Yeah.
But we've started.
Did you have people coming in from the public besides the committee members?
We did not at that meeting.
No, not that night?
No. So,
And we get the water district in there too. So.
Yep, exactly. So I think it was, again, it was I thought we would have a diverse group. I wanted a diverse group. I knew there'd be some differences of opinions, and that's going to make the conversations, I think, really good and probably end up with a good result.
Yeah, good. So when are you meeting again?
We are looking at the 28th of November.
Yep.
So
Coming up.
if that works for people's schedules, so that's when we'll make
good
sure
luck.
we button that up and
So
then let
far, I've
people know.
heard back from a quorum, so it should be.
Good.
Yep.
So, moving on to the fifth order of business, the consent agenda. These items are considered routine or standard business and therefore will be enacted by one motion. There'll be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests prior to the consideration of the portion of the agenda, which event the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered next on the agenda. Includes item 23-136, ordered the Fairfield Town Council hereby waives the reading of and accepts the minutes for meeting number 2023-17 held on October 11th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
We're not done yet.
Not
Not
done.
done.
No, not yet.
I got one more part.
Yes.
Item 23-137, order the town council hereby approves. I'll speed up, John. Treasurer's warrant number 80, general fund, in the amount of $541,722.03. Not limited to, but including MSCD 49, motor vehicles, Delta, and Morton salts.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing a motion and a second, any discussion? All those in favor? Passes unanimously. The sixth order of business, to take action on the following items of business as read by the council chair. Item 23-138, order the town council hereby approves a cannabis dispensary license, Y&Z Grow LLC, located at 201 Norwich Walk Road, and authorizes the town manager to sign and submit corresponding Maine Office of Cannabis Policy local authorization forms in accordance with the Fairfield Land Use Ordinance Sections 6.4A and 9.20 and state statutes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Abstaining.
Item 23-139, order the town council hereby assigns quitclaim deed for Tyler J. Perkins for a property located at 18 High Street, map and lot 017-072.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item 23-140, order the town council hereby signs quitclaim deed for Zhang Zhizing for property located at 5 Crosby Street, map and lot 023-111.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Is this on taxes, back taxes?
Sewer.
Is that
Sewer.
sewer? Okay.
All those in favor? Item 23-141, order that the town council hereby approves a sewer abatement for the account number 2547 at 303 Main Street for Bethel Holdings, the amount of $1,394.53.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. We have it in our packet, but Michelle, can you give a quick explanation for us, for those listening at home?
Certainly. So the way that sewer bills are derived, it's based upon the water usage reading that we receive from the water district. And should you have a water leak and the water goes out onto the ground and does not go through the sewer, you can get an abatement to cover that cost. There was a leak at this location and had been for quite some time. So to get to that number, what we did is we used an average. What we typically do with all sewer bills is you use a yearly average, so 4 quarters, and then what's the difference between those two things in order to get a juxtaposition as to how much could potentially be the credit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, for everybody not able to see our packet, it's pretty involved, actually, and that seems like a good process.
Well, and sewer,
fair process.
you can't measure sewer,
Right.
right? So it's only measured by the amount of water
coming in.
usage, so you have to just average it.
Yep. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Item 23-142, ordered that the town council hereby confirms the town manager's appointment of Travis Leary as E911 addressing officer effective November 1st, 2023.
So move.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Passes. Item 23-143, order the town council hereby confirms the town manager's appointment of Samuel Solmitz as firefighter EMT effective November 6th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Item 23-144, order the town council hereby authorizes the town of Fairfield to accept on behalf of the Fairfield Police Department a grant from the Department of Homeland Security in the amount of $29,987.95 for a 100% reimbursement of the purchase of a Polaris Ranger 1000 crew cab side-by-side with winter snow tracks to be used for search and rescue, as well as a multi-use trail ATV snowmobile enforcement.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? I'm sure you had it for Chief, but I already looked at him. He's coming to the podium.
Where are you going to keep this?
In the garage?
In the garage?
Yeah, we believe in the garage, and if it doesn't fit, we'll get a trailer for it at some point and keep it in the parking lot, and I'll get a cover to put over it.
Okay. I think this is a wonderful opportunity where there's no cost to the municipality at all.
2 years ago, they changed the grant process. We used to just get a set amount, $9,600 a year. And now it's competitive, so all of the towns in Somerset County compete for the same grants.
Yeah.
And we were chosen this year. based on my application, which was covered a lot of potential uses. But yeah, it's a good machine, and we're happy to have it on board. We'll be able to patrol the local trails and
Yeah.
respond to emergencies as needed.
Excellent.
They come with a warrant, like a warranty or?
It'll have a full warranty from the manufacturer, which isn't, I'm not really sure what they are. I think they're like a 1-year warranty. But it does have tracks.
They say what the maintenance cost afterwards, the cost or?
No. I don't think it's that much. Public Works, I'm sure, will do the oil changes for us, and, the tracks is coming with everything. It's got a roof, it's got the windshields, tracks, everything we're gonna need.
Come with a heater?
Yes.
What's that?
A heater?
Should.
I don't know if it comes with a heater or not. It doesn't have doors, so I guess it doesn't matter that much.
Some come with heaters and directionals and.
It's not a-
roadworthy and-
It's not a comfort machine by any means, but we do get a lot of complaints of ATV traffic on the trails. And it would be nice to be able to get out there in the snow and
Yep.
on the trails to, keep an eye on people.
Thank you for writing the grant. I think it's worthwhile, especially looking at, again, no dollars being spent for our tax dollars. And I think you're also looking at the expanded use of the Martin Stream rail bed area. I think that'll be important to have that, so.
Exactly, yes.
Well, thank you.
Any other questions for Chief Gould? Thank you. So motion second, any more discussion? All those in favor? Passes. Item 23-145. So order the town council hereby approves purchase of a 2013 ambulance from the town of Winslow for Fairfield Fire Department in the amount of $25,000. However,
So I received word from the town of Winslow yesterday that this offer has been taken off the table. Their plan at this point is to wait until after their new council gets seated, and then they'll discuss what they're going to do with this ambulance sometime in January. It was a good piece for us to just, it was a good opportunity for us at the time when it came up, and maybe that opportunity will still present itself to us, but as of right now, it is off the table. It is worth bearing in mind, though, we will more than likely be seeing an invoice soon, a projection soon, for what our Delta ambulance could be in the future. We're still waiting on, and the process has started for the fire audit. I believe Councilor Thibodeau had her Zoom call with the folks that are conducting that audit. I know that they're working on lining up those calls with everybody else. It is still an ongoing, very active process, and is what we're doing with the fire department. And then also, they have a new rep through the Teamsters. I met that gentleman this week, and they're hopefully looking at contract negotiations the end of January. So it's going to be a very active topic of discussion is going to be the fire department over the course of the next 2 to 4 months. So.
thank you, Michelle. I was actually going to bring up those items in the 7th order of business, but you beat me to it,
Gotcha.
so that's good.
Nothing but efficient.
Item 23-146, or the town council hereby adopts the Fairfield Mill Island Park redevelopment plan as presented. At this
And
point,
we should table this at least until your next meeting.
Yeah, 'cause-
There was still some issues with the mapping that needed to go in this document. I believe there's a meeting set up for tomorrow with the Growth Council and KVCOG. I know they were trying to work that out. So it's just a matter of timing and getting the final touches done. I've seen the preliminary draft and all of that stuff. It's just not ready yet, so.
do we need a motion to table?
Motion to table.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion tabled. The 7th order of business, council workshop and other business. So the first one is to discuss the Charter Commission. Councilor Thibodeau. Start it off.
I think we should have been more vocal as to why we wanted to do the Charter Commission. Every 5 years, the town charter is supposed to be reviewed. The last time it was done, it was in 2018, 17?
16.
16.
I was just going to ask, okay.
And so we're really behind the 8 ball on it as of right now. It's not necessarily to change how we're we're voting or anything like that. It's a discussion to see how the charter is meeting our needs in the year that we are reviewing it. I was pleased to see that there were 161 write-in votes. That was wonderful. I'll never know who they were. But at least people were interested or had people in mind for the Charter Commission. I'm hoping that in May, we can bring it back for our June vote, so.
Yeah, I would agree.
And it is important.
I would agree with that, and I think that falls on, I'll take some blame, the council chair. So I don't think we even thought about it really, because it's not really a contentious issue.
Right.
It really isn't. A charter commission is not contentious. They are making recommendations on how our charter is working at this time. And if we choose to take those recommendations, well, that's a different matter, and we can talk about that. But actually having a charter commission is something that every town should do to maintain and make sure that it's updated. So I think that's on us to talk about what a charter commission is, what it does, and to, I think, when people are fearful it's going to change something, then they don't know. So it's
Just a review of what.
What we have, yeah, and.
Well, and just as a reminder, so when the charter was redone in 16, you had the Charter Review Committee that does get created every 5 years. We did have that. So there was that review process that was done, other than, some typos, some clarifications. There was a recommendation that did come forward that we look at the formula or the format for town meeting. So that's kind of was the precipice of putting this forward. So, yeah, I agree with you said, Councillor Townsend, because we really didn't, even my office didn't really do a lot of education about promoting, this charter commission. We tried to get a couple of articles done through the newspaper, but that didn't happen, but that shouldn't have prevented us from putting more information out at our office either. So, I definitely think we can do better.
But now we know.
And get that information out there.
The last time the Charter Commission met, we met for, I think, 3 or 4 times, and we were done.
Yep.
And the charter itself is not a lengthy document, but it does require discussion and insight from townspeople in order to review it.
And it's important to remember that the creation of a charter commission doesn't automatically change your charter. Right? So the Charter Commission would recommend changes, they would be put forward, and then those changes would be debated and voted on by the townspeople. It doesn't inherently change anything. But you cannot, there's very little that you can actually change in a document that's your town charter that doesn't go before the people.
Right.
So.
Right.
Any more Charter Commission thoughts?
No, but I think it needs to be put on the
Yep. I
agenda
would agree.
starting next spring.
Yep, I would agree.
We'll get your timing for you.
Yep.
So the second part of that is discuss other council business. Councilor Pachadi, you want to start?
No, I'm good.
Good.
No,
Councilor Thibodeau.
Well, just for us counselors, the audit that I participated in yesterday took about 45 minutes. It was basically a SWOT analysis, so you're looking at the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats with the fire department. Nobody else has signed up yet, but if you would like to give me your name, saying that you're interested, I can give Mr. Houghton your name, and then he will contact you.
So he has, and I just haven't received a date, time back.
So you have done it?
I've
You've
responded to his email.
Because we received emails.
Yep.
Yeah, so you've got to respond to the email and saying you're willing to participate, and then it doesn't take long, it's all done through Zoom, so.
And they'll only do 2 people at a time because they don't want to risk it violating any freedom of access laws if it was
Right.
more than 3, more than 2, so.
So, other than that, I have nothing else. Although, I will say to the Tullys, thank you for your wagon and what you did during the summer, so appreciate it, and bringing some life to Main Street.
Very good. Peter.
Yeah, I just want to.
Councilor Lawrence.
Stephanie, on that, thank you, the Tullys, for that. It was a good event. I actually attended some events there and good turnouts. Also, too, next week's Thanksgiving, I want to wish all townspeople and their families a happy Thanksgiving. And that's it.
Good. So I've got a few things. I'll try to keep it relatively short, but one question was discussion with, and I'm not sure if it's going to mess up your grant proposal.
It's still in draft form.
Okay, so
we're good.
so the suggestion was, what if we used ARPA funds for like a stove, that if it's going to be a long time off before we get a grant submitted, before we get it accepted, before we get the money, before we,
So,
like, it
The
could be,
whole kitchen.
Right.
The refrigerator, the dishwashers, everything, the whole kitchen has to be done.
right, so I don't know if that should be something we should look at.
I think it's worthy of a discussion. We have plenty of other opportunities to go for this resiliency grant. None of the municipal buildings have heat pumps. That's an item that could be considered. The bathrooms really in the community center need to have a good go.
About heaters.
The police department has heat pumps.
Okay, they do,
I don't
okay.
know, I'm just wondering about heaters. Will they update heaters or?
As in heat pumps?
Not heat pumps, regular heaters, like, we got natural gas heaters. I don't know if they will help update those, because some of them get on.
Well, I didn't know about that either. So, again, I can add that to the list.
That's the one thing in the public works. And here.
Yeah. So, I'll talk with Michelle about the heaters, and they're very specific for resiliency. It has to do with climate change and being energy efficient. So, and I don't know enough about heaters to know that, so, yeah, so. But again, there's opportunities. As for ARPA funds, we have about, what, 249,000 left in the ARPA money.
Yeah.
It is, I did find a stove at Lowe's that is a gas stove. It has 4 burners, a griddle, and 2 ovens, and it was for about $2,300. The refrigeration, for the refrigerator, I found a 48-inch wide, and I have to go in and measure the width where it goes, and I think that was about $2,000.
So the vent.
The vent is good, it just needs to be cleaned, and that can be arranged. The dishwasher that is in the kitchen in here, I don't know the last time it was used or if it even does work. We do have.
It does not work.
It does not work.
I don't know the last time it was
And
used
so do
either.
we really need to have a dishwasher? We have really good sinks in there, so that would be a matter of thought. We had thought about an ice cube maker, because refrigeration does not come with a freezer like your kitchen refrigerator does. And that in itself would be hard pressed to sell for the resiliency grant. What would be more beneficial would be bottle filling water stations instead, for people to utilize. So, and the generator in itself, we're looking at a good $20,000 just for a generator for the community center. So, as for using ARPA money, there's plenty of other things we could put in for resilience, for the resiliency grant, but it would be a discussion with the council
Yeah.
for the use of the money from ARPA.
How do you guys feel? Is it something in my own personal opinion, I think it would be worthwhile
Just saying, too,
to put on discussion.
Since it's been down so long in the community center, a lot of vendors like to have it to use. Because last time I remember that was operational, that was good 5, 6, 7 years ago. Last time I had an event. It's been down for 3 years, but that's the last time I was here for an event. That
Yeah.
We used the kitchen. But upgrading it, we might be getting more.
Sure, exactly, now we can.
Well, we
More
get
things.
more events here, and then the other thing
We
too,
get
I
more
think,
money.
is that, talking about that stuff needs to go out to a bid instead of just a flat
Right.
Yes, it does.
fee type of
So also
situation.
too, electrical,
Well-
electrical too, because of.
Going
you don't
out
know
to
what's
bid is
there.
a $5,000. We have to do RFPs at the $5,000 level. So I don't know how that would go with buying at Lowe's if something's $2,300. So it would be, I think it's a matter for us to discuss.
Or we can get an engineer to see, go in there, kitchen design for that space to see what we actually need in there. Do we need to re-gut the whole place? Put things in there, or what?
And then, and another thing with the prices, you have to consider the installation too.
Right.
So Michelle, can you just remind us the process on trying to get some
So,
equipment?
$5,000 doesn't inherently trigger an RFP. So the request for a proposal comes with anything, right? So
Yeah.
whether it be an official request or whether you go out and you get estimates, right? So right down to if I need 3-ring binders, we check Walmart, Staples, and Amazon as to who's cheaper, right? So it doesn't matter how big it is. Whether you want to do something formal for an RFP that becomes posted, mailed, that kind of stuff, or whether you go and say you go to Lowe's, you go to Home Depot, you go to Fortin's, you go to Beatty's, you go to everybody and you bring all the proposals back as to how many you have,
Correct.
right? So you need more than one price. So you need estimates or whether they be formal proposals. So that's how all of that works, which you can easily do with a stove. If you don't want to wait for a grant and you want to use the ARPA funds for that, you could easily do that. And we could put that together.
Along with the refrigerator.
And the refrigerator, we could do
Yeah.
the same thing.
But as for having to go and dismantle the whole kitchen, and I think that's a bit, in my opinion, it's too much. I think I've worked in that kitchen before for things, and it's functional. You just need a working stove. And the refrigerator, we were talking about that this week. We think it's original to the building. So as for being energy efficient, it's not. So, and as for using the dishwasher, that's just an added expense. And if it's not working, do we replace it? I have no problem washing dishes by hand. But then again, you're looking at sanitation.
Well, we don't necessarily have a lot of dishes.
No, and we don't.
Right. So,
Is the motion,
yeah, so I
look into this, or?
No, I don't think, well, we
No.
need to is ask if you would humor the council and put together an estimate on a stove and refrigerator for the kitchen? And if we could bring that back for the next meeting, do you think you could do that? Or is that too fast?
Well, I'm going to put it on my to-do list for
Okay.
next week.
And
And if it doesn't
and-
happen, then
and-
it'll have to wait for the one after.
Right, and,
But yeah, we should. be able
but
to
I
do it
also
next week.
think, I know that there are town employees and everything, but do not hesitate to ask us to meet you and help measure and get together some things.
I know
So,
how big it is.
Both
Yeah.
the,
Okay.
both the
Yeah, we
vent,
have
do we
that
need that be looked
The
at
vent-
first, or?
So the exhaust fan that's there is still in working order and was in sound order the last time it was inspected. Because we were not renting the kitchen and no one was using the stove, we stopped the hood vent inspection, I think last year or maybe the year before. It needs to be professionally cleaned because it's just dirty, but it still works and it passed inspection at the time and there was nothing wrong with it, so.
Yeah. And the other
Yeah.
thing with the stove is, currently that stove that we have in there, it's gas, right?
No, it's electric.
It's electric.
Electric,
So I would like to see gas going in there.
I
And
think that comes with a different set of requirements, and I think safety-wise, it needs to be electric.
Electric?
safety-wise, it needs to be electric.
Because
I'll
of the
double
vent-
check on it anyway.
Please
Yeah.
do, because
Yep.
that, for energy efficiency, that makes a difference.
Yeah, but I'll double check.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you for that part. For,
Yeah, just put a solar panel in.
there you go. So let's, we're good.
Just bring a grass
Thank you
grill
for
and.
looking into that, Michelle.
Yes.
I'd like to speak to the election, and I think you see a lot of information out there. But what I want to say is that the town clerk and her staff that was there from actually way before the election to lead up to and prepare for it, and then there on the morning of till late night, worked very hard. And so I am, this is something that comes with this day and time, that people make assumptions, make accusations without ever thinking about the people that are involved, and thinking and maybe assuming that they are good people and they do not make mistakes intentionally, and that you should consider intent first. I think that's very important this day age. Just take a step back, ask why, and consider who you're dealing with. The election was run very cleanly. People worked very hard. It was great to see a wide turnout, and it was great to see people involved. And that is the take-home. That is all that should be really talked about. And I think that's really important to remind everyone as part of the American process, that you have the ability to have an election like that. And then when the results come in, those are the results. And then we move on and we continue to have discussion. But thank you, Christine, for your hard work. And thank you for all the volunteers and the town employees who all spent their days before and day of working very hard. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Another thing that kind of goes on that same end, and I can just let it slide off, but this is my chance to talk. And so when I hear things and see things in the public that talk about this council and the secret meetings, well, I'll tell you what. This council never has secret meetings. That may be other councils, and they have that issue. Maybe I should just let this drop, but that is a direct affront to this council. All these hard-working councilors may not agree on everything, but we all work very hard, and we have the best interests at heart. And we do not have secret meetings. We work very hard not even have reply all on our emails, because we don't want to have a secret meeting by email. So when you have that issue, you make accusations of secret meetings, you better have information that's factual. That's all I want to say about that. This group works very hard. So again, before you want to just throw something out there in the public, think about what you're saying, think about the people you're saying it about, and come with facts and confront if there is an issue. Again, we will continue to work very hard for this town. I take great pride in this town. I take great pride in this council, who works very hard, and we will continue to work very hard for this town. But thank you for that. And I'm switching gears a little bit, because I do want to say, go Dogs, let's go, Lawrence. We're going to have a 2:30 at Fitzpatrick Stadium. We beat the Rams last week. We'll beat the Rams again this week, as we will beat Kennebunk. So let's go and let's have some fun.
Yep. And it's on the radio, not on TV.
Yeah, unless you want to sign up.
There
Point of-
might be
point of
somebody
order.
adding on later.
Oh, really? Oh, it'd be nice if it was on TV.
There's some issues with that. so.
Okay, thank you, Matt. So, but
That's all.
according to Mike Violet, it
Yep.
was just going to be on the
It
radio.
was going to be. And Mike,
It was only supposed to be on the radio last week until the last second.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
Mike's pretty good to listen to. So.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say on that, and so hopefully changing gears to a positive thing. And so hopefully next time we meet, we'll actually be able to say congratulations. The next regular meeting of the Fairfield Town Council will be held Wednesday, December 13th, 2023, to be held as a hybrid meeting in council chambers and via Zoom at 6:30 p.m. We will recess at this time to sign all documents that require the signatures of the council members.
Motion to recess.
Second.